All right, welcome everybody. We made it to Thursday, April 3rd. Today we are covering for the week of professional development. We are so excited today to have our guest speaker, Andrea Tamura from our education department. She's one of our wonderful nurses who's been with Boise VA for 15 years. She just got her 15-year service pin this week. I see you. Um, and so we're really excited to have Andrea here today to present about professional development within VA. Andrea is a super wizard on all the things with our VA scholarship programs, and we've had some questions for you, and so we're really excited. Andrea, we'll keep an eye on the chat today to help bring forward questions for you, and we are recording today's call, and we'll have some closing announcements towards the end of the call, but I'll hand the mic over to Andrea. Welcome.
Oh, there we go. I'm on mute. Now we're better. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Let's see. There we go. All right, so as Jeanette said, I'm Andrea Tamura. I am the Boise VA Scholarship Coordinator. I am a nurse by trade. I can speak to this program from two sides of the coin. I participated in this program many years ago, and now I am the coordinator of the program, so I have a deep understanding of it. And then I will also cover some other professional development opportunities that we have available to all VA employees. So, some important information to know for our national and local scholarship programs. Any permanent, full-time, or part-time Boise VA employee who's been employed for a year by the application due date can participate in the program. There are two main policies that drive these programs. One is our national directive, and then one is our local policy. So everybody always kind of gives me a blank stare when I start talking about contracts involved with these programs. This is not your typical scholarship program where you apply and you're awarded and you're handed a check for the full amount of the scholarship. There are very specific rules and regulations that guide how, when, and how much of the funds are spent. These funds are considered what we call special purpose funds. They are designated for the specific recipient, and they have to be spent within a designated fiscal year. There are three national programs that we offer at the Boise VA. First one is EISP. This is open to employees who are currently in a Title 38 or hybrid Title 38 role, or an employee that is seeking a degree and employment in a Title 38 or hybrid Title 38, which are typically clinical positions. This program is not open to employees who are currently nurses, but it can be open to someone who is seeking a nursing degree. For example, an MSA that is going into a BSN program, they can apply for the EISP scholarship. We then have Van Eep, which is a specific scholarship program that essentially pays you your full-time salary to go to school full-time. This scholarship provides the scholarship and replacement salary to the VA facility whose employee is enrolled full-time in an approved education program requiring for first-time licensure that requires clinical or practicum hours in their training program. Then we also have NNEI, which is specific to nurses. So this is for registered nurses that are currently in a 0610 job series seeking to advance their degree. So it can be used for an associate degree moving to a bachelor's, bachelor's moving to a master's moving to a doctorate, or a true bridge program where you jump degrees, so an associate's to a master's degree. Requirements of these scholarship programs. All three of these programs require the recipient to sign a contract message and a contract agreement upon acceptance. This is a legally binding agreement between the recipient and the U.S. government. All three programs also come with a 1 to 3 year service obligation. The duration of that service obligation is decided at the national office. But typically, if you are attending school full-time, you will incur a 3-year service obligation. And then you are required to work in a full-time position upon completion of your degree and or licensure. All of the scholarship programs carry a local requirement to submit a supervisor evaluation and a peer evaluation and essay, and the Van Eep application also requires an interview. with our scholarship committee. Basic eligibility requirements of these three programs. Keep in mind, these are basic. There are some specific requirements specific to each program, but basically permanent, full-time, part-time employees who have been employed for 1 year can apply. You have to be enrolled in or unconditionally accepted into an academic program that prepares you for employment in Title 38 or hybrid Title 38 position. So you cannot be conditionally accepted. What that means is your school has accepted you on the condition that you still have a couple of requirements to fulfill before they will fully admit you into your program. The academic institutions must meet national VA qual standards as well as our local qual standards. You have to be within credit limits of the scholarship program, and I'll talk about that a little bit more on the next slide. And you cannot be under any other federal program or service obligation. And then, of course, there is that 1 to 3 year service obligation that you must sign, otherwise you can't have the scholarship. So the money and the due dates. The lifetime maximum for these three scholarship programs currently sits just over $47,000. The undergraduate, if you are seeking an undergraduate degree, the maximum number of credits allowed is 90, and they will cap the per credit dollar amount at $523. The maximum for a graduate degree is 54 credits that they will cover, and they cap that per credit dollar amount at $872. The scholarship lifetime maximum goes up every year based on the federal pay increases that we usually get in January. These national scholarships, so it's a lengthy application process. The packets are due to me by September 1st, and funding for these scholarships won't start until January 1 of 2026. Vision 20 also has a scholarship program, so I don't know if there's some Vision 20 people on here right now, but they do have their own scholarship coordinator. Simone Rich is her name, and she does have a scholarship SharePoint site, so I have included that in these slides. Moving on to our local scholarship program that we have available. This is called our Tuition Support Scholarship Program, or TSSP. This program is geared towards the Boise VA employee that doesn't qualify for the national scholarship programs, but you are seeking to grow your skills and professional development. Education must support the overall strategic plan, and TSSP is not available for Vision 20 staff. So the requirements for this program, this one also comes with a contract, but it's not quite as robust as the national one. And employees are required to maintain employment for the duration of their service obligation based on the dollar amount awarded. So if your scholarship is less than $3,500, you have a 6-month service obligation. If it's over $3,500, you have a 1-year service obligation. Eligibility requirements for this program are very similar to the national program, but when we are reviewing scholarship applications, you have to meet one of the 4 categories listed on the bottom of this slide. You have to be participating in an educational program that is not eligible for national VA scholarships, employees working in areas with low retention rates, or if the position is listed on the hard to recruit and retain list, you would be eligible. Employees pursuing education programs in preparation for that Title 38 or hybrid Title 38 position that require you to complete some prerequisite courses before you're accepted into the actual program can apply into this scholarship program. And employees seeking education for other occupations that support the strategic plan. So the money and the due dates for this program, this one varies. So the amount of scholarship funds awarded are based on the number of applicants, the amount each applicant is requesting, and the amount of funds remaining in this scholarship pot of money. The application due dates also vary. It is currently posted on my SharePoint site, although I've been kind of thinking about it, and I'm going to adjust some due dates to better accommodate more people. But all the documents must be submitted, and you must meet employment requirements by the time you submit this application. Funding for this program can start as soon as 1 month after the due date or after you submit. The caveat with this is that all of these funds have to be spent before September 30th because these are fiscal year 25 funds. So you can't apply into this program with the expectation that January is when you're going to start your program. That has to be spent before September 30th. So how do you apply for a scholarship? I always tell everybody, and I send them to my scholarship SharePoint site. I update all of the information, the forms, the dates, the policies. I make sure all of those links are working, and I do keep this up to date. Then I tell you, schedule an appointment with me because everybody's plans for going back to school are just a little bit different and require some specific planning and discussion specific to your program. So let's set up a meeting, let's meet, let's talk about what it's going to look like for you. And then I'm going to sound like a broken record because I'm going to say this a couple of times, but plan ahead. The national scholarship programs have a very lengthy and robust scholarship application packet, and it requires many signatures. It's got to go through several hands. There's a lot of work involved. So you can't just decide today I'm going to apply next week and I'm going to get the funding the following week. It does not work like that. There's a lot of planning involved. Some tips for application. Here's my broken record moment. Give yourself plenty of time to complete the application packet. Time is your friend in this situation. I also recommend that you meet with your supervisor to ensure that they can submit a favorable recommendation. If you do have performance issues or attendance issues that you need to work on, you really need to clear those up before you try applying for the scholarship program. And then meet with me to make sure that you fully understand all of the requirements and the specific details of the application program that you're applying to. I have a very lengthy checklist that we go through to make sure that you understand all of the little nuances of each of the programs. So moving on to some additional professional development resources, we also have the Work Schedule Support Program. This was established to support staff seeking higher education to enter the nursing workforce. So it is specific to nurses or people seeking to enter into nursing. The employee can apply for a 0.3 FTE position interview, and if selected, you're placed in the inpatient or outpatient float pool as a CNA or LPN. The caveat to that is you have to be able to meet the qualifications of a CNA or an LPN. We also have our nursing prep resources SharePoint site. Our librarian, Ms. Sue DeWeese, put this together a few months ago, and I helped her out a little bit, although I give her full credit for it. This is for employees who are seeking acceptance into a nursing program or are currently enrolled in a nursing program and you would like some additional assistance on exams and studying. There's all sorts of resources there. I have also put links at the bottom of the nursing prep SharePoint page for all of the Idaho schools that offer nursing programs. We also have our Boise VA library. This SharePoint site is a wealth of knowledge, and Masu keeps this very up to date. But we have our online resources, and then we also have our physical library in Building 54 where you can actually come and check out books. And then 3 other programs that we have available to staff. One is our Boise VA Mentor Program. We have not had this program for many years and it's finally back. People have been asking for it and we've been able to bring it back. So Brian Chris is the point of contact for this, but this program is designed for VA employees who have knowledge, skills, and abilities to assist in supporting and growing their fellow VA employees or coworkers to help them reach their full potential in an official mentor capacity. I believe the current cohort is full, but I think Brian's going to be offering another class later on in this year. And then we have our Lead and Edge programs. So our Edge program, Boise Engage, Develop, and Grow Through Education, is open to all employees. It's held quarterly each year. They focus on a lot of eye care values. They do 4 lenses workshops, interviewing resumes, Outlook Teams phone etiquette, professionalism, customer service, really how to be that good coworker and employee. Then we have our LEAD program, which is Boise Leadership Effectiveness Accountability Development Program. This is a competitive application process. It is a 6-month-long course open to GS7 and above. They focus on all sorts of leadership type things, but it also is a way to get to know how our VA works on a higher level. This is for those people that really want to jump into leadership at some point in their career and gives you a good understanding of what leadership looks like in our facility. There is also a group project that you participate in, a facility level group project. So this is really great for folks. And that brings me to my point of contact. Here's all my contact information. I highly, highly recommend that if you are interested in going back to school, even if you're just kind of in the beginning thinking stages of going back to school, come meet with me. I'm pretty well versed on all the schools here, the frequently used schools that employees have used in the past. And I can point you in some different directions that can meet your life needs. So that is all I have. Are there any questions?
Hi, this is Lindsay. Looks like Jeanette got booted or something. There she is. She's back.
Sorry, my mute button wouldn't work.
All right.
Teams. Thanks,
I'll let
Andrea. This was a
Jeanette
great
take this away. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andrea. This was a great presentation. We do have a few questions in the chat and some comments. So Jacob asked, I'm sorry I missed it. Which one could an LPN use to advance to an RN?
So that would be either EISP or Van Eep. Those
Okay.
would be the scholarships that you could use.
Okay, ESIP or Van Eep. Okay. And then Beatrice asked, if not for Vision 20, what type of employees does it cover? HR, MACS? And that might have been in relation to your Vision 20 point of contact with the scholarship. That's around when that question came up, if I am interpreting it right, Beatrice.
Yes, please. I mean, it sounds like for one of them, it's only for Vision 20. Others, Vision 20 cannot apply. So who does that cover?
I only heard part of that question.
Yeah, sorry, it was a little bit muffled. Beatrice, could you try to repeat or enter in the chat?
Twenty NCRH employees only. So if that one is only for Vision 20 and CRH, what are the other programs for?
The other scholarship programs?
Correct. Correct.
So Vision 20 typically, last I chatted with Simone, and it's been a little while since I've talked to her, but they were only offering scholarships for in the NNEI category. They may have expanded that. I don't know. I haven't talked to her in a little while. And all other Visions typically also have scholarship coordinators as well. So there are opportunities within the Vision level for scholarships. So did that answer your question? Okay, good.
Okay, great. All right. I have a question about, do the nursing school prep resources include options for certification exams?
So not, well, depends on what kind of certification you're asking about. So if there are resources there for the exams that nursing schools, like the HESI exam, which nursing schools typically use, in terms of certification once you have become a nurse, there is an ONS site that is specific for nursing certifications that'll tell you whether the certification is on the approved list from the ONS perspective. So.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question comes from Shanae. Does this include school for peer support specialist roles?
I don't know. That would be something specific that I have to look into. As far as scholarships goes, the type of school that you're looking into, it has to be an accredited school. So it has to be recognized by CHIA or CCNE or ACEN, whatever the accrediting body for the program is, it has to meet that. So that's one of the first things that we look at when you're asking me about a school specifically.
Great. Okay. Thanks, Andrea. So it sounds like Shanae, maybe follow up with Andrea separately with some extra questions there.
Absolutely.
Okay, Amy asked, how do I find out information about the LEAD class? And it looks like Robert posted the LEAD SharePoint in the chat, but Andrea, anything you'd like to add on?
Nope, that would be where I would direct you first. And then Brian Chris is the point of contact for our LEAD program. So you can reach out to him as well.
LEAD.
Is
Okay.
the LEAD, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
This is Dawn. Is the LEAD program for RNs only, or can LPNs participate?
I believe LPNs can participate as well. It's open to all VA employees, so it's not specific to nursing. It's open to everyone. And Edge,
Okay.
yes.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Great. And then Shanae asked, who's the point of contact for Edge? That's also Brian Chris as well. So
Yep.
he's a great point of contact.
He is. And I'll drop my slides into the chat as
Great.
well so that everybody has those links when I'm done.
Thanks, Andrea. And we'll make sure that those slides are updated onto our SharePoint site as well. Any other questions from our group today before we go into our closing announcements? Okay, last
Thanks.
call. Okay, thanks, Andrea, so much for this great presentation today. And it looks like one final comment from Rob in the chat. The next step after LEAD is the Vision 20 Leadership Development Institute, LDI. And I know that Rob is the point of contact for that. So if you guys have additional questions about LDI, I've heard amazing things about it. Rob is your point of contact for that. Sweet. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll make sure that the slides from Andrew's presentation are on the Employee Wellness Challenge SharePoint site under resources. So please look for that. We had a couple questions this week, so I want to make sure we address those really quickly. On the week 1 wellness challenge slide that talked about our weekly challenge, at the bottom it said you need to answer a question about the seminar. That part is actually obsolete. We were not able to accomplish that for the wellness challenge this year. So all you need to do to get your points for the wellness seminars are to be here and watch it, or watch the recording if you're unable to be here live. And so that's an extra 25 points per seminar that you attend. And yes, the Wills and Trust seminar from last week also counts. So for example, if you attended the Wills and Trusts, yesterday's presentation about goal setting and today's presentation on the professional development, you have earned 75 points, bonus points this week for your team. So that's awesome. So please make sure that you have downloaded the participant log sheet. You need to download it off the SharePoint site and update your own copy. That's how you're going to track. This is where you can track your exercise points, the seminar points, and then also the weekly challenge points. This is our last weekly seminar this week on our professional development week. So we hope that these topics have been helpful for you towards the professional development growth in your wellness challenge. As we wrap up this week, please make sure if you're interested in the extra 25 points for the weekly challenge to have completed your personal health inventory. If you're needing the link for that, it's on the slide for the week 1 challenge. And option B is to download the Live Whole Health app. And that one requires using a DS login or an ID.me login. So it does take a few minutes if you don't have that set up already. But it's a great app. It's great for checking in. People were asking about accountability, and that app can be one resource for you, but definitely rely on your teams, your family and friends around you as you're getting started with these goals for your 8-week challenge towards your overall employee wellness. So we're really excited to have everybody here. Ooh, Lisa says Andrea should get an extra 100 points. Great info. So Awesome. Thanks for the great feedback. And then starting next week, we're going to work on having a little pulse check towards the end of these seminars so that way we can get your guys' feedback. And let's see, and it looks like Lindsay was showing you guys on the SharePoint site about where the resources are. And we'll post that link in the chat one more time for resources. And if you guys have any other questions, please reach out to me or to Lindsay. And all of our recordings are on our YouTube channel or will be on our YouTube channel for Boise VA, and that link is also on the resources page too. So, all right, I think I've got through all the announcements. Lindsay, anything else that I missed?
Yeah, I just want to say I am posting these seminars on the resources page as well as YouTube, so you can watch them at work or off work. So we want to make them as available as possible for everybody. So if you just look around that resources page, there's one that just says seminars. So you click that button and they will all be just listed out, the links to them.
Great. Thanks so much, Lindsay.
Thank you. And thanks, Andrea. That was amazing.
Thanks, Andrea. So our next seminar is on Monday at 12:30 p.m., a little bit different time. This one will be Madison Souza. And next week, our topic is about healthy eating and food and drink. So Madison will be talking about healthy eating on Monday at 12:30. So we hope to see you guys there. And we hope that you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Take care, everybody.